Hey blues fans, John here with the Blues Guitar Institute, and this is your Tuesday Blues Lesson 13. Alright, so lesson number 13 is a request that was emailed to me by Mamo. And Mamo said that he really digs it when we sort of put together different lessons and sort of tie them together into a melody or a song. And he mentioned that he'd really like that with the country blues lick that we did in lesson 7. So today I want to tag on to that G lick that we did and really working out the pinky. And I want to show you how to move into the C chord and keep sort of that same pinky type melody thing going. And then you can cycle back and forth between the G and the C, and you can start to really flesh out a melody. And eventually we'll throw in a D chord there as well and sort of complete the whole 12-bar blues thing. But for this lesson, we're going to focus on what to do on that C chord. And I've got a basic level lick that you can do, or picking pattern that you can do. But then at the end, I've got something that's a little bit challenging for those who want to go a little further. So be sure to watch until the end. Okay, so that ties in the G part from lesson 7 and then this new C part that we're going to learn in today's lesson. So I wanted to cycle back and forth between the chords a couple times just so you can hear how the melody sort of continues. And really we're just holding down a couple of simple chords and making our pinky do all the work. If there's anything that's difficult in this, it's going to be keeping the alternating bass going and then using your pinky to actually cover the melodic duty of this tune. So no small order for sure. So definitely keep practicing the G part from back in lesson 7. And then now I'm going to dive in and show you exactly what to do over the C chord to keep this thing going. Okay, so let's take a look at exactly what's going on under this C chord. I'm freeing up just a regular C major chord, and I'm going to do the alternating bass between the 5th string and the 4th string, whereas on the G chord we were doing that with the 6th string, 4th string. So that's one notable difference. And then let's walk through beat by beat exactly what we're going to do to get this picking pattern down. Alright, so holding that C major down, first thing we're going to do is lead off with the 5th string. And I'm going to pinch the 4th and the 1st string, but I'm going to put my pinky down on the 3rd fret of that 1st string. And then I'm going back to the 5th string, and I'm going to pinch that with the open 1st string. So I'm picking my pinky up. And then I'm going to put my pinky on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string and hit it by itself, and then come down and hit the 4th string. So that's how that first segment sounds. And then I'm going to move to the 3rd fret on the 3rd string with my pinky and hit that note by itself, and then I'm going to pinch the 5th string and the 2nd string, and I've got my pinky off the fretboard at this point, and I'm just pinching the 2 C's really of the C major chord, because I've got the C here on the 5th string and the C here on the 2nd string at that 1st fret. Then I'm going to put my pinky back down on the 3rd fret, 2nd string. Go back to the alternating bass. And then before I hit my 5th string, I'm going to move to this high G note here, first string on the 3rd fret with my pinky, and then complete the pattern. And then just finish off with that 4th string alternating bass as well. There's another quarter beat there. All right, so let's take a look at that a little slower because there's definitely a lot going on. So we're going to get a good close shot on the guitar and watch my fret hand, and then you can check out what the picking hand is doing. Okay, so now I want to play a quick little chord progression, just cycling back and forth between the G part that we learned in lesson 7 and the C part that we just learned. So here it is, slowed down so that you can take a real close look at what's going on here in the changes. Alright, so now we have the G part that we learned in lesson 7 for this country blues pinky picking thing. And now we've worked in a C chord over it. And this C chord sounds really cool, especially when you sneak that pinky up and grab the 3rd fret on the 3rd string, because that's the flat 7th. So we turn that C major sound into a nice C7 sound. And there's some really cool creative things that we can do with that. And that we may well get to when we piece this whole thing together. Alright, so for those of you who have hung in there, I promised you that I would throw a little more advanced piece of a lick at you. And here it goes. I'm going to dive in close to the guitar again and show you exactly what I'm doing there. Here we go. Alright, so the little advanced trick, if you will, on that are these bends that are happening here on the 3rd fret 2nd string with your pinky. Something like that. And this is definitely very tricky, but sounds so cool and bluesy. And you can certainly hear this in guys like Blind Blake's playing, where you know he's bending this exact note when he's on a C chord. So this definitely happens in Piedmont. So something awesome to get down under your fingers. So what I'm doing though is I'm working through the bass line just as I would and just as we have up until this point. You can't lose track of that rhythm. Finishing the little picking pattern as we have in the past, I'm going to play the second half with just these little bends here, these bluesy bends. And the real important part is to keep the alternating bass going throughout these bends. But what I'm doing is I'm pushing up one of those quarter bends, a quarter step bend, because it's not quite a half step bend up to this note. It's sort of in between these two notes. So I'm going to bend slightly, which is a good thing when you're talking about bending with your pinky. It needs to be slight, right? And just put a little cry on it. Get into that sort of space with it, and head for that tone. And I find that I do this naturally without even thinking about it. I sort of bend my wrist a little bit to help rock my hand to get some momentum going to push that pinky up this way on the fretboard. So here's what I'm talking about there. If you can see it, it might even be slight, but my hand does rock just a little bit to get that note and push it up without having to use a ton of pinky strength. But in keeping with the theme of lesson 7 and now in lesson 13, this thing is going to work your pinky, and this is just one more way to get your pinky in action. So be sure to check out the tab for this. I'm going to tab up this more advanced part as well, right along with the main lesson, so that you can get inside the exact notes that I'm picking.